Hi, this is Nika. I'm going to just do some math activities here that you can do with your kids. I started these around 3 for my son. It's really simple. I started with just getting some cardboard and having him take these numbers and match them. So just do like 1, 1, 2, and this was, fairly easy for him to do, but it was teaching him about matching numbers and also counting. This is something you can pick up anywhere at Michael's or anything like that, and it's really helpful to be able to make those circles without having to cut them out yourself. And so I did again for this too, and this time I didn't number it, and I just had him fill these out. So I did this, like I said, when he was about 3-ish, when he turned 3. So we would do these kind of games, not really games, but just things that he could match and maybe even make patterns. It was just a good way for him to just explore. And so this was one, and then I also had him do this. Just got simple paper plates, and I would put the numbers 1, 2, and then I would have him put how many circles and then match the number as well. So for here it's 1, 2, 3, and then I did it all the way up to 100. And then recently my son is in kindergarten and he is learning money. So I got this at the dollar store, and I had him put the money on here, glue it on. So that was something recently he did. So I've been just saving these and using them for times when, this is just really easy for them, but they love, if your kid loves glue and gluing things, these things come off really easily, and so that they can glue it back. And then, you can talk about money too. And this is, again, I started doing this when he was about 3, and so he could do this on his own around that time. So that's that. And then these are also things that you can make yourself. It really helps them with patterns and number and sequencing. This particular one, I got the idea from Days with Gray. It's a website of a kindergarten teacher who's now a stay-at-home mom, and she has so many great ideas. But these are things that your kids can do and learn and to match and do sequencing as well. And I just made these. These are really simple. And then I would have you would just put maybe 3 out, and then they would match the symbol. That's something fairly easy that you can make up and do with the kids. Young ones, I would say 3, 4. So I made several of these. You can come up, kind of get creative with it. And then here's another thing that you can do. This is pretty easy, but you can have fun with this. With the clothespins. If you get clothespins, you can just line them up. And if your kid is young, you can just start with maybe like 1, 2, and then have them take the correct clothespin and put it on there. So that's something simple. I also started teaching my son around this time 1 + 1 = 2. And so that was a way to introduce him to it, and it was pretty fun to do. So these are things that I would give him to do when I was busy and he would play with them. So you can do that. Using some of these clothespins, I have also some flashcards. A lot of the things that I have, I got fairly inexpensive, so I buy everything from the dollar store or just sometimes used. But this, I think I bought at the library. Sometimes the library sells things in their dollar section, but this was a really useful game for matching. What I would do with my son is that I would put these patterns, numbers of things, right? So they're all different kinds of things, and they all represent a number. So this obviously is 1. And so how we would play the game is that I would stick the card down. We would play against each other. And I would say whoever puts their hand on the item that this number represents would be able to take it, and whoever has the most cards at the end wins. So we would start, and I would flip it over. Okay, now who finds 7? So we'd have to, whoever finds the 7, so whatever that would be. So in this case, I even forgot. I don't even have them all. But you would match that with that, and then they would take it, whoever would take it. So let's go with 1. So whoever gets that. So my son and I would have fun doing this. It's something that he likes, anything with like speed and competition. So we would do that. And also I would do, when I would want to make things kind of, this is actually the more challenging one, because you really have to memorize this, or really count fast. I even forgot. It's been a while since I played with him. Like I said, these were games that I played with him when he was about 3, so it's been about 3 years. But this was also kind of, also good to do, because you could just, flip it over, find 7. So whoever finds 7, and so forth, right? So 9. And usually I would let him win a couple times, and I would win, but then it would encourage him to want to play again. So I have these cards. I have several sets that we could do matching games with. But this really helped him with counting and with matching and being able to read, and just all that, it really did encourage. I think it just helped with his math skills. Right now he's really good at math. He's probably in the 2nd grade level for a kindergartner. So I think just doing these with him early did help with that. And plus he had always an interest in numbers as well. So that's a game that you can do. Another thing is something with using dice. This is also another game that you can do. This game is really fun too. When I was teaching him, I was watching the Jack Hartman show, and they have like a game called Subatize. So you would throw the dice, and then you would have to count the number. So when we were first starting this, I would have my son and I do 5 jumping jacks. So it would be like, okay, what's that number? 2. That was easy. He could read that. We would do 2 jumps, like something really active to keep him engaged, and also he didn't feel like he was learning. And then the next time we would I add another dice to make him start adding the numbers. So it would be, okay, what's this? Whoever could do it first would get a point. And so I would divide into a sheet of paper, and I would say mom and my son's name, and then I would say whoever could add it first gets a point. So if he would say, okay, 5 plus 2, 7, okay, so he gets that point. And I was also showing him tallies, the 5 tallies, so he learned to count that by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20. And so that was a way he was learning 5s, counting by 5s, but also a simple addition as well. So this was a game that we would play together. Sometimes when we were just trying to find things that we could do active, I would say, name a thing that you would want me to do. So if this is 5 plus 4, 9, what 9 things would you want me to do? And he would say, do 9 push-ups. So he would do 9 push-ups. So we make it active as we go. It's not just doing this math game, and that can make it really fun as well for them. So that's with this. And let's see, I also got something that has dice you can get at the store. I think I got this Lakeshore, I believe. But it's also using dice, but this is after he kind of mastered this and it became too easy for him. We went on to doing things like this, which is more like a game. You can take this on the go. It's kind of like a maze, whoever completes it first, but you can make up games with this, which I like. So you can play against each other. So you say one of the games could be 10. And so you would say the first person who could add to 10 or subtract to make 10. So for example, 6 and 4, I found it, so I get a point. So then I can move what other color I am. If I'm red, so I get to move. And then, do it again. And you can do this with multiplication, subtraction, division, and you can make up other games. So I really like this because it helps them use math again. Something like 12. Okay, I have to add to get to 12. So that was really good when my son started to get more proficient with his addition and also just wanted a challenge. So I like this game as well for that. And then something that you can do as well, I love to make math like fun. So what I would do, I started to see, we have games at home that we play. Chutes and Ladders is one of them. And what we did with Chutes and Ladders is we made it so that my son was adding while we were doing it. So that's really simple. If you have this game, when we do this, this game has been played a lot. So I don't even have the spinning thing right now. My other son broke it. But what I like to do with my son is that we would add. So if we would get 3 and then he would get 5 more, or he would land on this, I would have him add the number, or we would subtract. We would just play that way. So that's another way to do it. He also got creative and decided to make his own. And this was like around the time when he was learning to count. And he wanted to do really big numbers. He wanted to do it to 200. So he made this, I would say a couple years ago when he was like 4. Like he was really into the numbers. But he did this, and it was a good way for him to count up. And then we played on this game, and he made chutes and ladders. And so this is just a fun way to also play chutes and ladder. And another thing we did is because he got into addition, this game, we made a game. So I'm just going to see if you can see this. But we got this kind of presentation, science experiment presentation board from the dollar store, and he made like a volcano. He was really into volcanoes, and he designed the game. And what we would do is we'd have we would pretend any like stick figures or his Lego figures, and we would each choose one. And so if we rolled the dice, 3, we go 1, 2, 3. This says addition, so we would do an addition problem. If it said multiplication, we would do a multiplication problem. So I don't know if you can see this very well. It's been a while, a couple years since we've made this game. It has a lot of stains on it from just a lot of things, but that I just wanted to show you. We use these. I either would give him just an addition problem, or he would give me an addition problem, or I got these at the dollar store, and it already has like 6 plus 2, 10, and then it also does subtraction. So these are things you can find at the dollar store. So if we landed on the subtraction problem, I would have him choose from this to do a subtraction problem. So that was a game that we kind of made up using these kind of cards. Another thing that you can do with cards, speaking of cards, and make it fun is So here I have a stack of just regular cards, and if you've ever played the game War, you divide it, I think, into, let's see, now I'm not trying to remember as we go. But anyways, we would put this down, and each of us get a number. I think that's what it is with War, right? And whoever I think has the biggest number is the one who wins, both of them. But what I would have him do is add the number, or multiply the number, or subtract the number. So one game we would do addition. So whoever could add 7 plus 6 first got to keep the cards. Now, I know the answers, but sometimes I would let him get it initially, so he got really excited. And sometimes he got faster than me, and so he would truly win. But that's how we would play the game War. So as if you continue to go, each get a number. Oh, maybe I think, or maybe it is you divide it into 2 stacks. Maybe that's it. And you each go like this. That could be it too. I'm sorry, I forgot to practice some of these things. I'm just kind of going based on my memory. It's been a while, but let's just say you divide it into 2 stacks. We'd each have one. And so, for example, this would be, I think this is 10. The queen maybe, this is 11. The queen is 12, and the king is 13, I believe. Maybe you take out the jokers, or you can use the jokers as a high number or something like that. But you would count, I would do, like I said, multiplication, addition, or subtraction each game, and that's how we would play. So I hope this all makes sense to you. But you can see that you can make up games. You can do your own thing, and you can even have your child make up a game. And he doesn't know he's actually learning or practicing his math facts when you're having fun, especially if they're competitive. So this is a game that we played. Let me see if I have anything else. I wanted to show you this abacus that I ordered online. I think it was somewhat helpful. The subtraction part was a little tricky for my son. So this helped with subtraction, just learning how to subtract numbers. You can use this abacus to do that. 9 minus 2 or 10 minus 2, and you would take them out. And that was a good way to learn. You can change this to 10. You can do it to minus as well, or adding. So that really helped. And like I said, he didn't really use this too much, but it did help me explain the subtraction to him. That was the time we were doing subtraction. He was having some hard time with it, and this seemed to help with that. I'm going to also talk about different things that you can do with your kids to help them develop reading and writing with letters, but I'm going to save that for the next episode, because I'm also going to include some books that I use with my 18-month-old and some of the activities he does while we are doing schoolwork at home. So I'll include that for next time. So this one was just the math activities portion, and next time stay tuned for the letters and activities to do with younger children. All right, thank you.